Hi, here we are in front of Soldan High School. Now it's not Soldan High School anymore, it is Soldan International Studies High School.
Very wealthy school when it was built 100 and something years ago. And nice neighborhood on Union, just a little north of Forest Park. I used to live right down the street. And I would ride my bike up here often and really enjoyed it. Little park behind us, and Union gets a little busy, so you have to be careful on your bicycle if you're riding up this way. So.
And any famous people that graduated?
Well, Tennessee Williams, who wrote Glass Menagerie, A Streetcar Named Desire. He wrote a short story I really like called Yaws. Check that one out. It's a very good story.
And Georgia Frontier, who moved the Rams from LA to St. Louis.
Before they were moved back to LA.
Thank you, Stan Kroenke.
And we don't like it either, so.
Well, what do you do? And then there was one other person, Stan Can, the organist that used to play at the Fox Theater. We used to go to a lot of concerts at the Fox Theater. And what was kind of unusual is that they would always, Stan Can would start the concert by singing the national anthem, or playing the national anthem, I should say. And all these people with real long hair and rock and roll and everybody would get up and they'd go with the national anthem. I always thought it was very
Stan
befitting.
Also collected vacuum cleaners, and he'd go on the Tonight Show.
Oh, he
show
did?
off his vacuum cleaners, yes. He was on there dozens of times. Johnny Carson really liked him, yeah.
For vacuum cleaners or what?
Yeah, vacuum cleaners.
I wonder where the collection is now. It's worth millions and millions of dollars. Goodness sakes. Well, that's quite a, maybe we can get a clip and ask NBC if we can have a little clip and we can include Stan Can with his vacuums.
Be a budget buster.
Oh my God. Hey, wait a second, we got a massive budget here. Anyway, Soldan High School, and some of our employees at Brown & Brown went to school here.
Shout out to our clients who went to Soldan.
Yeah, all right. And then where we're gonna go next, Ed Brown?
I don't know, but we'll see it when we get there.
All right, well, adios until the next spot.
The Gateway Arch, the symbol of St. Louis, and a symbol of progress. And we work right by the Gateway Arch. If you ever want to know where our office is, just look for the arch.
Well, you can see our office actually right there. It's called the Gateway 1 building. I think they're the only offices that have balconies. And that was a big plus for us because we can open up a sliding door and we got a beautiful view of the arch.
Mm-hmm.
And it's,
come on down, we'll take your picture.
Well, not everybody. I mean, we got everybody.
Well, if you're a client,
oh, client.
Come on down, we'll take your picture.
Politician, police officer, where do we stop?
Well, as
friends,
long as
neighbors.
As long as they're friendly, that's all we ask.
All right,
be nice.
Be nice, but
be kind.
So the arch, the gateway to the west, give us a little history about the arch. And when it started, they were developing the plans in the 1940s, I believe, weren't they?
Yeah, Eero Saarinen was the architect, and he designed it, and it was built in the mid-60s. And a lot of our fathers, friends' fathers worked on it, iron workers. Shout out to the iron workers. And it's a great symbol, one of the most, anywhere you go in the world. I've been everywhere, a lot of places in the world, and when you show them the arch, everybody knows the arch. That's a symbol of St. Louis everywhere.
And people do come from all over the place. You hear a lot of languages, different people speaking different languages when they're walking around here. So
yeah,
it is, and it's a good time going up in the arch. Anyway, if you come downtown, you got the arch.
Suck in your guts and you can get on the egg.
And another thing is, this is right behind us is the world famous 4th Street. And hopefully you'll be able to see 4th Street, but horse and buggies used to come up and down this particular street back in the 1880s, 90s. I mean, the cars didn't come into existence very much until 2015, 2020.
Cars?
Cars.
I think you get about 110 years off.
Oh, I'm sorry, 19s, okay. I get my centuries off, what can I say? Help me out here.
1910.
1910?
1920, yeah.
All right, and, but it's a famous street, and some of the buildings are still here from the 1800s. And anyway, St. Louis, a great place to be. We were born and raised here, and I think they're gonna plant us here someday when our time is.
Not here.
Well, not
I don't think the
actually
Park Service would let you get planted by
here.
the
Get a
arch.
shovel and just start digging, you know. All of a
Right.
sudden.
I don't think that's going to happen.
And be aware, anything you do on this property is federal. So even if you have to go to the bathroom or something, or hopefully not, but if you did have to after a night of drinking at one of the local taverns,
It's
don't
literally
do it
a
here.
federal offense if you do anything illegal on the arch grounds.
Well, you represented some
I
people.
have represented people. You get federal DWIs, somebody tried to get through the metal detectors with a little marijuana baddie, so they got them for federal paraphernalia offense.
Gosh, really?
Yeah, not a good idea. Don't leave your baddies at home.
I don't even know what a baddie is, but I'm not hip and cool, I guess, like you are.
Yeah, I know what it is.
You do.
I do.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Why don't we'll take a look at 4th Street, and you can vision it of what it looked like 100 years ago, and it's still a vibrant area in
Yep.
St. Louis. This is a place to be.
Not far from all the Cardinals and of course the Ballpark Village and other major important things in St. Louis.
And as Mike said so eloquently in the movie Fast Times at Ridgemont High, no matter where you're at, this is the place to be. St. Louis.
The place to be.
The old courthouse. Ed, do you have anything to?
Well, very historic. It was one time the center of everything in St. Louis. The mayor, everybody had their offices there. Attorneys. We're talking pre-Civil War. Of course, the Dred Scott decision came out of there, which a lot of people think led to the Civil War, one of the major causes. And Abe Lincoln used to walk up and down the street. He stayed in our building one time when it was a hotel.
There was a fire in 1848, I believe it was. Is that
1849.
1849, there was a fire, and it destroyed all the buildings in St. Louis except 2. Trivia question, what 2 were they? Yeah.
This one and the old cathedral.
The old cathedral was saved as well.
And guess what is the only building in St. Louis that's never changed hands?
Well, I guess the old
Property,
cathedral.
the old cathedral. It's been designated Catholic Church property since the founding of St. Louis.
That's good to know. But many court decisions were rendered here, and the most famous one, I would suspect, would be the Dred Scott.
Sure.
Can you tell us a little bit about that decision? I don't want to trump
Well, Taney was the Supreme Court Justice who was from the Carolinas, and of course he was pro-slavery and basically said that slaves aren't human beings and so you can do with them as you please, and of course that countered everything the Republican Party stood for, and that helped get Lincoln elected, which led to the South seceding from the Union, and that of course led to the Civil War.
And it all started right on these steps right here.
It did. They used to sell slaves on those steps.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, we're right here on the riverfront, so we're gonna take another view of St. Louis. And one thing about downtown is it's a vibrant area. If you're looking around, there's a lot of people walking up and down the streets and a lot of good restaurants. And we're gonna visit Ballpark Village in a little bit and Busch Stadium, some other places. So wherever you're at, always remember, come downtown. It's a happening place.
Right. Shout out to Angelo's next door.
Yes, always good food. If you've been injured in a car accident, I probably know what you're thinking. Maybe I can deal with the insurance company on my own.
We're the attorneys at Brown & Brown. Don't be a victim twice. To get your car fixed right, obtain a rental car, and get compensated for your injuries, you should have us working for you.
We have offices in Missouri and Illinois. So if you've been injured in a car accident, call us for free. In Missouri, dial all 3s. In Illinois, dial all 8s. And always remember, at Brown & Brown, if you can't come to us,
We'll come to you.
Dan Brown here again, and welcome to our balcony overlooking St. Louis. And I feel very fortunate to have this. At the end of a hard day, you can come out here, have a cold drink. And people ask me a lot, they say, well, Dan, don't you get tired of this? You get used to it after a while. I said, heck no, I don't get used to this. I'm a kid that grew up in Spanish Lake, man. I got to tell you, there's an old show, what was it, George Jefferson, moving on up to the east side. I feel like George Jefferson, you know, it's great view, and it's always very vibrant up here. And you got a lot of traffic, that's for sure. But you can see in the background the old cathedral, and we're going to show you also a little bit about Eads Bridge. Eads Bridge, before you take a look at it, I should say, Eads Bridge was designed and constructed in like 1876. And if I'm not mistaken, it was the first major bridge that spanned the Mississippi River. Beforehand, what they would have to do for railroads is they'd have to disassemble the trains, take them by barges to the other side of the river and reassemble them. Well, Mr. Eads, he was criticized a lot during the construction, and the reason why he was criticized is because a lot of pundits said it's not going to work, it's not going to work. But guess what? It worked, and 140 years later, 135 years later, it's still a mode of transportation for thousands of visitors. But it's a great afternoon in St. Louis. It's great to be here at Brown & Brown, and I gotta tell you, it's good to be alive. How's that sound? And that is true. Somebody asked me once, they said, Dan, wouldn't you like to be 25 again? I said, no. And they said, why not? I said, because I remember when I was 25, I was always broke and having all these, you know, how am I going to have gas in my car and everything else? Not to say things have changed drastically, but it is kind of nice when you go to an ATM machine and you put the card in and it gives you cash. Because I remember the old days, put a card in and it'd sputter does not compute, or card is confiscated. I go, what the heck is this all about? But again, great view of St. Louis. Glad that you could be here. And if you're ever in St. Louis, you can always have an open welcome to come and take a look out our balcony, which I think is one of the best views of St. Louis. Ed Brown, what are your favorite Busch Stadium moments?
Well, I have one in particular. 1982 at the old Busch Stadium. It's 7th game of the World Series, October. Cardinals and Brewers, and great moment. Cardinals win the World Series, run out on the field. I see you out there, of all people. Weren't you going for second base?
No, I was just hopping around being happy that we won. One experience I did have about that particular game is I was at University of Missouri-Columbia, and I was a computer science major at the time. And what happened was Ahmed Flahid said, if you miss my class, I'm going to deduct you a grade. And I told him, I said, look, this is once in a lifetime experience. I went to Busch Stadium, you saw the game, you saw everybody running around on the field, and he still gave me a lower grade, one lower grade than I should have had. So Ahmed Flahid, if you're still out there, I still remember that. But would I have traded that for anything? No, I'm glad I did that. Any other memories of Busch?
God closes a door and opens a window.
Well, there you go. The other, I always enjoyed the Super Jams here, and Super Jam 77, 78, 79. But what they would do is they'd have it in the middle of August, and it'd start at noon and end till about 10 o'clock at night. Oh my goodness, even as a 17-year-old kid, it was draining on you, it really was.
Yeah, days before bottled water even.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, you'd have to go to the concession stand to get ice and anything.
It was hot, and Casey Stengel said, yeah, Busch Stadium holds its heat very well. Is that what he said? Something like that?
Yeah.
That was the All-Star game of 66?
66, yes it was.
But Busch Stadium, a lot of good memories, and the old stadium, the new stadium. I've never went to Sportsman's Park. Did you ever go to a game there?
I don't think so, no, before my time.
Well, let's make some new memories at Busch Stadium, and it's good to be here. Oh, what other concerts? Paul McCartney came here, The Who, U2. So they still have concerts here, and it's fun to go and watch. I always like outdoor concerts. And I do like to see the Cardinal baseball playing here too.
Yeah.
And hopefully we have a good
If you
team.
see us at the stadium, stop by and say hi.
That's it. Here we are in front of the beautiful Union Station, which opened September 1st, 1894. It was once the busiest railroad station in the world, actually. And it had 28 different railroad companies going in and out of this place. And in the 1940s, my understanding is over 100,000 passengers a day would come through Union Station.
Yeah, during World War II. And it was the scene of many famous photographs. Dewey defeats Truman. Harry Truman held that up from a train platform. And VE Day, Victory Over the Germans Day. And they had a big celebration right here. This was center of transport. It's what Lambert Station is today is what Union Station was, 50, 60, 70 years ago.
That's a good analysis. I mean, the demise of the railroads, of course, was the upswing of the airlines.
And automobiles.
And automobiles,
Yeah.
good point.
Yeah.
So it used to be if you had to go to Chicago, you would catch a train to Chicago, or New York, you could have it overnight. But now, you know, people are so used to getting on a plane, and you want to fly to Detroit, it's an hour flight, hour and a half maybe.
Chicago's an hour.
Anyway,
Or you could hop in your car and get there in 5 hours. Yeah.
that's a good point.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful structure. It was in disrepair, what was it, back in the late 70s, early 80s?
Right.
And
then in '84 they did a renovation, and it was a cool place, really neat.
yes.
Had the fudge. Everybody would talk about the screaming of fudge, and lots of stores. Disney store was in there. Lots of restaurants. Now they're re-renovating it, so it'll be fun to see what it becomes.
Re-renovating.
Yeah, that's right.
Bobby Hull used to have, was it Bobby Hull? Bobby, no, it was his son.
Brett Hull.
Brett Hull.
Had
Brett
a
Hull
restaurant.
used to have a restaurant here as well. I went in there and ate on a
Yep.
couple occasions. And like a lot of places, you have your heights and your lows. And there's always a criticism about Union Station is that they did not have an anchor store like Famous Bar or Macy's or Sticksbury and Fuller
Sears,
or
yeah.
Sears. And they said, how can a mall operate without an anchor store? And it performed well for a good 20, 25 years.
It was about tourism. Tourists would come here. So that's what it was became, and just a great place, and it'll be a great place again. And we look forward to the resurrection of Union Station.
Hey, wait a second, that's a little religious here. Not a resurrection,
Well,
renovation of Union Station. And one of the things I remember is they had third floor for Food Mart. And they had, I mean to tell you, they had every place up there was filled up with food vendors. But then over the years, you'd see less and less and less and less. And then finally, there was only one left, and that was the chicken teriyaki place.
They had a Greek place there.
Did they?
too,
Yeah, the Greek place. What do they call it?
Yeah.
They carved that stuff. Gyros?
Pita.
Gyros?
Gyros.
Pyros?
Gyros.
Something
Gyros.
Greek.
Gyros.
Gyros. I guess it was gyros. And they'd carve those up.
Don't forget Hooters. They were
Oh,
there.
that's right, at the third
At
floor.
the top. Yeah, take the elevator up. Fun place to watch games. Watch a lot of football and hockey.
I always wondered why that establishment could stay in business, because it was way out, unless you knew it was there. And of course, I guess you knew
I
it
knew
was
I
there.
was there. I had a lot of friends who worked there.
Was that the original Hooters in St. Louis? Or?
One of the first, yeah. He had one in South County. He had one in Illinois, Fairview Heights.
Well, and next in front of Union Station also is a beautiful fountain. Well, here we go, and we're gonna go and another place, another time.
Yeah.
Here we are at the heart of Central West End. We're right here at the corner of Euclid and Maryland. And if you look behind us, you can see the Chase Park Plaza. And it's a really vibrant place. There are so many restaurants to eat here at. Great place to hang out, meet friends. The heart of the Central West End, you can't beat it. If you've been hurt on the job, you probably realize by now you're not dealing with your employer, but rather with their insurance company.
At Brown & Brown, we'll make sure that you get the proper medical care, lost wages, and a lump sum settlement.
At Brown & Brown, we've handled thousands of workers' compensation claims. We have offices in Missouri and Illinois. So if you've been hurt on the job, call us for free. In Missouri, dial all 3s. In Illinois, dial all 8s. And always remember, at Brown & Brown, if you can't come to us,
We'll come to you. In 1999, Pope John Paul II came to St. Louis, and he came right here to the new cathedral, and we were here for it, and I lived right here across the street, and we watched him through the window, and he gave a little speech, and everybody was very excited. They warned us all not to use the roads because the roads would be so crowded with thousands of visitors coming to see the Pope. The Pope Mobile would scooch up and down Lindell here at incredible speeds. He got all the lights. He didn't have to stop for any red lights.
And Ed, tell about the Pope party that you had.
We had a big Pope party.
Right.
And when the Pope came, we had quite a few people to look out the window. We were all shouting, and he came out. He just kind of waved like this, and then he went back in, and the other thing I really remember about that is they had sharpshooters stationed all
Yes,
over
they
the
did,
cathedral
yes.
to protect him. He'd been
Right.
shot once, of course. So.
And I remember you're saying, I have the Pope in my front yard.
That's right. We had the Pope. We were going to invite him over to the party, but he had previous obligations, and that was fun. We come to this cathedral. We were just here for my daughter's confirmation just a month ago. We were at the cathedral here. Mom came.
A friend of ours ran up the street, so he was sure to see the Pope Mobile,
Yeah,
remember?
that's right.
Oh, he ran
Absolutely.
so fast so he could see that, catch up with him. It was
Yeah.
it was a very, very important event.
Yep, it was.
and what happened after the Pope came?
Lots of miracles. The sisters of, I forget the order, but they had prayed for good weather, and it was perfect, beautiful blue skies the whole time the Pope was here. And as soon as he left, we had an ice storm the next morning. So that was one miracle. The other miracle was our football team, professional football team, whose name I refuse to say, won the Super Bowl the next year. That was truly a miracle.
2 miracles, though. That's
Two
great.
miracles that the Pope brought with him. So now he's a saint, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
And those were the Pink Sisters.
The Pink Sisters, that's right, exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
So it was a good place to live. I enjoyed living here, and now let's go forward, onward and upward.
Now, this is considered a Central West End, correct?
Oh yeah,
All right. So let's continue onward.
onward and upward.
All right. Here we are in University City in front of Blueberry Hill. And Joe Edwards was going to be with us, but he had to go to a planning committee. But a good shout out to Joe Edwards, a good person. And all of this wouldn't have been possible without his entrepreneurial skills and his, what else can I say, dog.
Yeah, he started with Blueberry Hill. He built it up. He's got the moonlight. He's got the pageant.
True.
He's got the bowling alley. He's got the Tivoli. The guy's quite energetic, and he's the kind of person we like.
And Mom, you have fond memories of University City,
Yes.
don't you? And
I have a very special place in my heart for Lee City because, Dan, you were born when we lived at Canterbury Gardens Apartments, one of our first residences, and it was at McKnight and Delmar. And I just loved U City. I loved all the bakeries around there, and so did my husband. And of course, it was very special. I could walk you and walk Bill and walk Ed in the stroller Many a time you went up and down Delmar and
One
McKnight.
time I ran across the street, right, Mom?
Yes,
Oh,
you
goodness.
did. Yes, you were
Almost didn't-
naughty.
Almost didn't make it.
And you went to kindergarten in University City, didn't you?
No, that was
No.
in Overland.
Overland, okay.
Yeah, that
All right,
was
my
Rittner.
mistake.
Maryland School.
Rittner School District. Okay.
Yes, Marion School in the Rittner School District is where Ed went to kindergarten. But U City was very, very special because it was the first place.
I agree. That's very. And then they have vintage vinyl record store here, where I'm going to go to immediately afterwards, and yes, the 1978 Dan Brown is still somewhere in my body because I go on over there and I say, "Oh my goodness, Matu Hoople, yay! Oh my goodness!" And I'll end up buying 4 or 5 albums. And they're going to have some new
You
technology.
don't even have a record player.
I'm waiting, and the reason why I'm waiting is because they're going to have a new record player coming out in several months, where when you play the record, it automatically records the record into a what do they call those things?
MP3.
MP3.
Why don't
So,
you just get it off the computer to begin with? Skip the
It's-
middleman.
It's not the same. Albums are better than CDs, which are better than.
Yeah, we just love pops and scratches in our music. Yeah.
How many times do you
Skips.
remember, you put somebody, and somebody would jump while the record's playing and go "Grrr," all the way down, and you're like, ah! And then you play it again, and it's kunk, 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 kunk. And there goes your $4.95 album that you purchased at Peach's Record.
Yep. You folks under 30 want to know about that. It's ancient history.
It's
And
probably for the better.
Needles were always wearing out too. Remember
true.
how you had to buy a needle?
Right, needle is separate from the record player. You have to pay
That's
extra.
true.
It's expensive.
I always remember my first day of college at the University of Missouri Columbia. I had to make a choice. I had $40, and I could either buy a needle for my record player or necessary items like toiletries and everything else. And I was like, what am I going to do? I bought the needle.
You suffered for your music.
I did. I did suffer for the music. But I did have a cool turntable, and people always hung out in my room, even when I really didn't want them in there. Hey, let's play some albums, Dan. Let's rip up your albums. All right, we'll do. But anyway, U City, I got to tell you, Ma Brown, thank you for giving birth to me.
Here in U City.
Yep.
You
Shout out to
were
our clients from U City.
Hey.
Yes.
U City High, yo.